My cat was stealing from our neighbors for months. When I found out who was behind it, I couldn't believe my eyes. 25M, never thought I'd be writing this, but I need to get this off my chest and maybe get some advice. I've been living with my roommate for about 8 months now, and everything was pretty normal until I started noticing weird things happening in our apartment. It started with small stuff. Random trinkets would appear on our kitchen counter, hair clips, keychains, even a small rubber duck once. At first, I thought maybe my roommate was bringing random junk home from work or something. But then I started finding more valuable items, a silver pendant, a pair of expensive wireless earbuds, and even someone's work ID badge. The weird part? Our cat would always be sitting next to these items, looking way too pleased with himself. I didn't think much of it until last week when I came home early from work because I wasn't feeling well. That's when I saw it. My roommate was in the living room, holding a treat above our cat's head while dangling a small bell on a string. The cat was focused intensely, following the movement. Then my roommate started making these specific clicking sounds while moving the bell towards our slightly open balcony door. The cat followed, snatched the bell, and disappeared through the gap. I stood there, frozen in the hallway, watching through the crack in my bedroom door. 15 minutes later, the cat came back through the balcony, with someone's house key in its mouth. My roommate immediately praised him and gave him treats. That's when everything clicked. All those random items showing up? They weren't random at all. My roommate has been training our cat to steal from other apartments in our building. The balcony connects to a shared ledge that runs along the entire floor, and many of our neighbors leave their windows open during the day. I've been documenting everything for the past week. The cat goes out at least twice a day, always returning with something. Yesterday, it brought back a gold chain that I'm pretty sure belongs to the elderly lady in 4B. I've seen her wearing it while getting her mail. My roommate doesn't know that I know, and I'm not sure how to confront them about this. The whole situation is absurd. Who trains a cat to be a criminal? The worst part is, our cat is actually really good at it. He can squeeze through tiny gaps, move silently, and has learned to target specific types of items. I tried hinting at it yesterday, mentioning how weird it was that we keep finding random stuff in our apartment. My roommate just shrugged and said, "Cats bring gifts sometimes. It's what they do." Yeah, right. Normal cats bring dead birds or mice, not AirPods and jewelry. The entire building has been talking about missing items. There are notices in the lobby about a potential thief, and some residents are installing security cameras. Nobody suspects the cat. Why would they? It's the perfect crime, really. Who's going to believe that a cat is systematically robbing the building? I'm worried about what might happen if someone catches our cat in the act. More than that, I'm concerned about my roommate's state of mind. Who wakes up one day and decides to turn their pet into Ocean's 11? This isn't just about the stolen items anymore. It's about living with someone who thinks this is okay. I've started keeping a detailed log of everything the cat brings back, taking pictures when I can. Part of me wants to anonymously return the items, but that would raise too many questions. How would I explain knowing where everything belongs? And wouldn't that just make me an accomplice? The situation got even more complicated this morning. I overheard my roommate on the phone, apparently talking to someone about expanding the operation to the building next door. They mentioned something about training the new recruits. Please don't tell me they're planning to recruit more cats into this criminal enterprise. I need advice on how to handle this. Do I confront my roommate? Report them to the building management? Train the cat to be an honest citizen? I'm running out of ideas, and the stack of stolen items hidden in my roommate's closet keeps growing. Just yesterday, I caught a glimpse inside when the door was open. There's at least $1,000 worth of stuff in there. The most frustrating part is that our cat seems to love his new job. He struts around the apartment like he's Danny Ocean himself, probably planning his next heist. I swear he gives me judgmental looks now, like I'm the weird one for not participating in their crime spree. Update. Things have gotten way worse since my last post. Thanks for all the advice, but I don't think anyone could have predicted what happened next. Remember how I mentioned my roommate talking about expanding the operation? Well, they weren't kidding. 2 days ago, I came home to find 2 new cats in our apartment. They're both these sleek black cats that look like they came straight out of a spy movie. My roommate introduced them as temporary guests belonging to a friend, but I know better. The training sessions have moved to late at night now. I've been pretending to be asleep, but watching through my doorway. My roommate has set up this whole obstacle course in the living room using string, bells, and various small objects. It's like watching a twisted version of those pet talent shows, except instead of teaching tricks, they're learning how to be professional thieves. The new cats are quick learners. Last night, I watched in disbelief as my roommate demonstrated what I can only describe as a coordinated heist. One cat distracted our neighbor's dog, while another slipped in through their window. Our original cat, apparently now this senior instructor, supervised from the balcony ledge. The whole thing would be almost impressive if it wasn't so wrong. They've developed this system of signals. Different clicks and whistles mean different things. There's one sound for bring shiny things, another for grab small electronics, and even one for abort mission when someone comes home unexpectedly. The haul has gotten bigger too. This morning, I found a MacBook charger, 3 sets of AirPods, a silver bracelet, and what looks like a really expensive fountain pen on our kitchen counter. My roommate doesn't even try to hide them anymore, just sorts them into different boxes labeled electronics, jewelry, and weirdly, miscellaneous shiny things. I tried to bring it up again, this time more directly. I asked about the new cats and all the strange items appearing in our apartment. My roommate just smiled and said, "You worry too much. Cats will be cats." Then they offered me a pair of wireless earbuds that I'm pretty sure belong to the college student in 2A. The building manager is getting suspicious. They've started doing random apartment checks, claiming they're looking for maintenance issues. Yesterday, they almost caught us, or rather, caught the cats. My roommate had to do their special abort mission, whistle when the manager knocked, and all 3 cats came scrambling back through the window like some kind of feline SWAT team. I'm genuinely worried about where this is heading. The new cats are staying with us now, and I overheard my roommate talking about bringing in a 4th. They've started mapping out the building's layout, marking which apartments have pets, which residents work during the day, and, most concerning, which ones have the most valuable targets. The cats have developed their own hierarchy. Our original cat is clearly in charge, showing the new recruits the best routes and entry points. One of the new cats specializes in electronics. They figured out how to unplug things without making noise, while the other seems to have a thing for stealing pairs of socks. Just 1 sock from each pair, which is both impressive and incredibly petty. The residents are getting desperate. Someone suggested setting up security cameras in the hallways, but my roommate just laughed and said, "Cats can't be caught on camera." I'm pretty sure that's not true, but these cats are somehow avoiding all attempts at surveillance. They move like shadows, and the few times someone has spotted them, they just look like normal cats doing normal cat things. I found their planning notebook yesterday. Yes, they're keeping written records of their crime spree. There are detailed notes about each apartment, when people leave for work, which windows are usually open, even which residents have the best collectibles. There's also a disturbing section titled Phase 3 that mentions something about expanding to jewelry stores. Please tell me they're not planning to take this operation citywide. Final update. I couldn't take it anymore. After my last post, things reached a breaking point, and I had to act. Here's what went down. The final straw came when I woke up to find my roommate had converted our spare closet into what they called the command center. They'd installed a corkboard with a detailed map of the neighborhood, complete with red string connecting different buildings and little notes about potential targets. It looked like something out of a crime thriller, except all the surveillance photos were of windows and balconies where cats could easily slip in. But what really got me was finding a small jewelry box that I recognized. It belonged to my elderly neighbor who'd been crying in the hallway the day before about losing her grandmother's wedding ring. Seeing her that upset made me realize this wasn't just some quirky situation anymore. Real people were being hurt. I decided to gather evidence before confronting my roommate. For 3 days, I recorded videos of the training sessions and took photos of all the stolen items. I also started matching items to the missing property reports that had been piling up in the building's group chat. Then something unexpected happened. Our original cat, the master thief himself, brought something back that changed everything. It was a USB drive, and being curious, I checked what was on it. Turns out, my roommate wasn't just training cats to steal trinkets. The drive contained photos of personal documents, bank statements, and other sensitive information from our neighbors' apartments. They were planning to use this for identity theft. That's when I knew I had to end this. I waited until my roommate left for their morning coffee run, then grabbed all the evidence and went straight to the building manager's office. I showed them everything, the videos, the photos, and explained the whole operation. The manager was skeptical at first, until one of the cats literally walked in through their office window with someone's car keys. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. It was like the cat was turning himself in. The police were called, and let me tell you, watching them try to write up a report about a cat burglary ring was both hilarious and surreal. The officers kept having to stop and ask, so the cats were trained to do what now? They found everything in our apartment, over $15,000 worth of stolen goods. My roommate came back to find the police waiting and tried to claim it was just a hobby that got out of hand. Yeah, right. Pretty sure most hobbies don't involve training cats to commit felonies. The weirdest part? When they were leading my roommate away, all 3 cats sat in the window, watching like tiny furry crime bosses seeing their empire crumble. Our original cat, even had the audacity to try and swipe an officer's badge during the arrest. The stolen items are being returned to their owners. The elderly lady got her grandmother's ring back, and watching her face light up made me realize I'd done the right thing. The 2 new cats were returned to their actual owner. And our original cat? Well, he's been rehabilitated. He lives with me now in my new apartment across town. Sometimes I catch him eyeing my wallet or watching the neighbor's window with that old gleam in his eye, but a stern look usually sets him straight. I've been training him to chase laser pointers instead of stealing shiny objects. Figured he needed a new hobby. My ex-roommate got 6 months of probation and has to pay restitution. They're also banned from owning pets for 5 years, which honestly seems fair. Last I heard, they're writing a book about the whole experience. The working title is The Perfect Crime. I wish I was joking about that part. Looking back, it's still hard to believe this actually happened. I mean, who looks at their cat and thinks, you know what would be great? If I turned you into a criminal mastermind. But I guess some people just have different ideas about pet enrichment activities. For those wondering about the Phase 3 plans I mentioned, yeah, they were actually serious about targeting jewelry stores. There were blueprints and everything. They'd even started training the cats to recognize different types of security systems. I have to admit, it was an ambitious plan. Crazy and illegal, but ambitious. The whole experience taught me a valuable lesson. If your roommate starts training your pet to commit crimes, maybe don't wait until they're planning a citywide heist ring to do something about it. Also, always check references when looking for a new roommate. Maybe add "doesn't train animals to commit felonies" to your roommate questionnaire. Our cat seems happier now, though sometimes I swear he's teaching the neighbor's kitten some suspicious-looking moves. But that's probably just my imagination, right?